Okay, so now what I'm going to do is show you how to do lab 2. Has two parts, a Visio part and a access part. This video shows you how to do the Visio part. So what you do here is you go to your week 2 lab instructions and download those. And then what you do is you take your lab 2 Visio starter file, you click on that and put it somewhere where you can find it again. Now I'm going to assume you're using Citrix. If you're doing it on your home machine, you can just double click on that file and you'll be right into Visio. But if you're on Citrix, then what you need to do is you need to go lab.devry.edu and then log on. Then go to what the apps say at the top, and then go to Visio 2019. It'll start up. And then what you do is you'll search for crow's foot notation, and it should come up right here, crow's foot database notation. Double click on it. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to get the starter file here on Citrix. So what I would do is I just minimized Visio for a second there. I just went like this and I put it down in my system tray down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Windows Explorer. I'm going to open up Windows Explorer. And it should open up permit all access. And it's not opening up, but it should eventually open up. Oh, there it did. If it doesn't open up, look down on your system tray where you might have to click on an icon. That's where mine was. Okay, so then what I have to do is I have to go to my local disk C. And that's taking me to this set of items. I click on users and I go to Brent, since that's the name of my computer. And then what I do is I go to the desktop, which I can find right here or right here, doesn't matter. Okay, and I have a lot of files on my desktop by design, but if I then sort by date modified, the lab 2 BIS 45 starter file should be there. I want to take that and I want to copy it onto the desktop of this remote machine where Citrix is located. So when I click on desktop there and scroll down, I should see that starter file right there. Okay, so that means I've got it on Citrix. So now what I do is I open up the Visio, I go File, click on Browse, permit all access, and then go up to desktop on this PC, and there this lab starter file should be. Okay, so this is what you start off with. What you have to do is you have to make this diagram look like this one that I just screenshotted in here. And this screenshot is not something you do, it's something I did just so that I know what I'm creating. Okay, so what they want you to do is they want you to add an order line table and an orders table that will join products and orders in a many-to-many relationship. So what I'm going to do here, since I already have suppliers and products, I'm going to add the order line table. So I grab that and I put it over here, and then I type prod ID and I type order ID. Whoops, the order ID should have gone here. and then the name of the table, which goes up here, would be order line. Okay, and then I also want to make this order ID a primary key, so I go set primary key. Okay, now if you want to know why you're doing this, look at the other video I did where I went over what the data looks like in Excel. It explains all the why behind this. But you need to have this concatenated key so that you can tell which product is on which order. When I have this in place, then what I have to do is grab another relationship line, and I always encourage you to right click and then make it a straight connector, and then click on it again, right click, and go to format shape, click on line, and then make it fatter. There. Then what you do is you take the many side, which is the three-prong foot of the crow, and attach it to order line, and you take the one side and you attach it over to products, and you should be able to move these items slightly without the relationship line coming undone. And then in here put a verb phrase. I just double clicked on the middle of it, just double clicked and type has. Okay, so then it says here specified by, and I'm not fussy, you can use has if you want. If you want to make that bigger too, you can click on it, make it like 16 points. See how I can see that a lot better? Okay, and then what we would have is the orders. Okay, and then you got to add all of these non-key columns into the order line table. So ord line unit price is one, and then I'm going to grab another attribute and put it at the bottom here, and I'm going to type in order line quantity, and then I'm going to put in order line discount as well. Order line discount. Okay, so I've got all that in there. Then next thing I want to do is I want to create this table right here for the orders table. See all that? All that needs to be created. So what I do is I go over here and I grab another table and I go order table, and this has an order ID which will then automatically set as the primary key. I can then take on the relationship line, put it on my white space area, right click, make it a straight connector, right click, and go to format shape so that this comes up over here, and then make the line fatter again. And then what you have to do is you put the many side on the order line and the one side on orders. And then here you put a verb phrase, order line, and the has is fine. You can use whatever they use in the lab, but I just use has as simplicity for my many-to-many relationships. I would probably make the font bigger too so you can read it. Okay, and then when you have that, you need to add all of these non-key columns like order date, order shipper date, order ship via, order ship name, order ship street, city, state, and zip. All those need to be added as attributes here, and when you run out of attributes you just grab another one and then attach it like that. Okay, and then you will have completed lab 1 Visio portion. So you're then going to want to have to be able to submit that. So you would go File, Save As, and then double click on Desktop. Go Lab 2 Starter, change Starter Fire to say your name. Click on OK, click on Save. Okay, so that means that you now have this file. If you go to Windows Explorer again, you should be able to see that file on your remote desktop, which is on the remote machine, right down here. See that? You need to take that, and you need to then go to Users, and then to the name of your computer, which is mine is called Brent, and then click on Desktop, and you want to move that file from the desktop here onto this desktop. So the way I would do that is I would click on the desktop on your remote machine, right click, go copy, and then right click on the desktop here and go paste. So then when I click on this desktop, go date modified, there it is, Brent Lab 2. There's that file. That is now on my home machine. So if I got out of Citrix entirely and went to my desktop, I should be able to see this file completed on my desktop. Then I just take that and submit that to Canvas like I would any other file that I had created on my own machine. And that's how you do the first one, part of this lab.